Hello and welcome back to the channel. Now, over the 27th COVID lockdown, so January 2021, well actually it was February 2021, we started building this extension on the back of my house. Because I'd had an operation, I couldn't do as much as what I wanted to do, but a couple of good friends helped me out. Now the foundations and the block work, that was all done by my mate Dave from the channel Ultimate Builder. I'll link to his channel below. And then the roof was done by Pete from PGG Construction. So if you're in and around the Liverpool area, check them out if you're after a really good joiner. Fantastic he was. So between the lot of us, we made videos, photos, and I've put them all together in this. I think it's going to be 3 different videos, just as like a diary to show what we done, how we done it. So the first video is probably going to be about the foundations and the footings. Second video, superstructure. Third video, roof. As and when I do jobs inside, I'll video them and put them up. So things like the electrics, plastering, plasterboarding, fitting the kitchen, things like that. So I hope you enjoy it and carry on watching. So this is where it all started, with the old conservatory. Now we had insulated the ceiling and it worked for a good few years, but it was time to go. It was old, it was too small, it was starting to fall apart. But a nice fella from Haydock, I gave it to him for free, and him and his sons came and took it away, and it was really surprising that the roof structure was in one piece. So that's it with the conservatory gone, just a little wall left. Day one, and here's Ian arriving, the mad digger man. Lovely fella he was, with his old digger. But the problem was we couldn't get it past the garden wall. And no matter how much he tried with his digger, he could not shift that wall. It was solid. It was just not budging whatsoever. Not bad for a 90-year-old wall. There's Dave just breaking off a little bit. And there's me after my operation, knocking it down brick by brick with a sledgehammer. That must have been when I was on a tea break. Mia loves to climb up walls. Yeah, so as I said, every single brick was knocked out with the sledgehammer. There's Dave just whizzing through by the garage so I can knock the rest of the wall down. Now we did try with the digger, but it wasn't budging at all. Because Dave hadn't whizzed all the way through, it was starting to pull my garage down as well. So I nearly lost the workshop to the mad digger man. Okay, so breaking ground. This wasn't straightforward either. We had a little bit of a job getting through the first layer of tarmac. We eventually got through. Nothing's ever straightforward with this house. At the end of day one, I've got holes. We had to go down fairly deep, I think it was about 1200 mil to hit solid ground. Oh, and they broke through the poo pipe. So it's alright, that toilet was getting disused anyway, so it wasn't too bad. So at the end of day one, we had a right angled trench. Day two, finished off the straight length of trench. Clipped a couple of pipes, but fortunately we didn't break through them this time, and the rest of the wall is gone. And for February we had really good weather. That's the rest of the trench dug, all the pipes insulated. Now here's something that surprised me, and if you're doing your own extension it'll surprise you, but we had a lot of rubbish to get rid of. This lot cost over £1,000 to get rid of with the grabman. It was ridiculously expensive and something we'd budgeted for, but we just didn't realise how much we'd need to get rid of. Right, so the footings getting poured, lots of concrete. We didn't go too deep with the concrete though. We decided to use a bit more trench block and brick in the foundations, so the footings weren't actually that deep. There's Dave tamping it down, and he's got his laser level there, making sure he's staying level with the little beep. So we had a few labourers that day, great help. There's Dave just checking the levels. And me giving it a good coat of looking at. After having an operation, I couldn't really wield a wheelbarrow full of concrete. So that's it, all poured, all levelled, ready for the foundations. These are the tubs for the Premix Mortar that we used. Because we were using block work and we went through a lot of mortar, it was worth getting the Premix stuff. Now it has a shelf life of about 4 days, so it's really worth getting. There's Dave showing off how well he can cut block. These are the big thermalite trench blocks. They go down really quickly. There he is. He says he has stabilised, doesn't need a spirit level. And there's the foundations all laid, all the bricks and blocks. Okay, then we put hardcore down and a layer of sand. The kids loved running up and down that the night it was done. Then we put the damp-proof membrane down and the steels. So here's Dave just showing in one of his videos what we did. So we've got 2 layers of damp-proof membrane. We've got an upstand of 25mm Kingspan, and then underneath the damp-proof membrane we've got 75mm of Kingspan as well. And then we've got the 8mm rebar sitting on little feet, so the rebar will be sort of centralised in the concrete. So we put 3x2s across the middle, because the tampon bar is only 6 metres long and the extension is 12 metres long. We had to put this centre board in so we could tamp it level. All the drainage is in for the rainwater and the soil water, concreted back into the original drains. Laid on pea gravel. Concrete pour day for the slab, and of course Armia had to get involved, and they were lovely with her. They let her do some of the filling of the barrows. She was made up being able to help and get involved.
Well done.
She was made up.
Mia, nice to meet you, thank you for that.
These lads really worked hard pouring this concrete. It took a good couple of hours to do. And there's Dave and Nick with the tampon bar, using the centre wood we put in and the outside wall to get the concrete perfectly level. At this point Dave decided to take out the centre 3x2s and he used the poured concrete to get the level right. With experience he knows what he's doing, and he's done most of this by hand with a level without the big tampon bar. and he's done a brilliant job with it. Can't fault it at all. This is a clip from one of Dave's videos. He's done an instructional video about using this bull float just to bring the fat to the top of the concrete, iron out any of the bumps and lumps and get it nice and flat. So I'll leave a link to Dave's channel below. Be sure to go and check that out. He's a great bricklayer and builder with a wealth of knowledge, and hopefully as he builds up his channel, that knowledge will be passed on. I always enjoy asking him questions and learning from him. So thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, and if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel, and we'll see you next time.